Well, this might be a bad idea, but guys got to do it. And I'm just hoping I'll be able to pull the C8 out and check the top after getting the new transmission. Because when I was at the dealership, the top didn't close properly. I should have left it there and had them check it out, but I just wanted to get it home. So my plan is to back red out, lower the lift, maybe put the C3 in the other garage, and then put red on the lift so that if I have to muck with the top, I can, and maybe vacuum out the interior, give it a wipe down, and then put red up on the lift with the cover on it, and she can stay there hopefully for the rest of the winter, maybe. And I'm gonna have more tools coming in because on the other channel, we're selling that property. I don't know how quick it's gonna sell. If it sells quick, well, I mean, even if it doesn't sell quick, I'm eventually gonna have to put all those tools in here. And I have workbenches, and I'm hoping to keep those and bring them to this garage and put them on that wall and maybe that wall. But at the end of the day, I gotta clean up the shop. And I should probably park the tractor outside. It's certainly warm enough it can be outside. I could put it under the carport between the trucks. So I'll probably do that too. I thought about putting Princess on the top, which I could do, but I got to give her a wipe down. I mean, she's washed and clean, but I'd like to give it a waterless car wash and then put the cover on it. And maybe I'll put Princess here. Red being the C8 and the most valuable car right now is why, you know, I should probably keep it out of harm's way if I'm moving stuff. And of course, the next one is Prince, the C2. So I got to keep it out of harm's way. You know what I need? I need a bigger shop. And in a lot of ways, I probably should have parked the Super Duty outside with the camper, but there's some things I want to do to the Super Duty. I've got, I'll just sneak by here. See, I put that on there just in case. And I can sneak by. I just have to rub up against the car. And is that? Well, those are bugs stuck to it. But I pulled the cover back to show our realtor because he's a car guy. He's got some cool hot rods. But yeah, the marker lights on my Lund visor, they're old. They take bulbs. I put LED bulbs in it, but the problem with LEDs, they don't draw a lot of power. So if you have a little bit of a loose connection, it's easy for them to go out. And so I had some that were going in and out. So I bought these, and my plan was to put those in behind and hardwire it. So in theory, these ones will stay working. So I want to give that a whirl, which I can't do when the C2, sorry, not a 4, is so close. So I might try and put 2 cars in the house garage. Might mean Andrea's got to park outside, but you know what? It's fine. Most important part is the Corvettes. And hopefully, if all goes well, I can add on to this shop and maybe extend even the back and have some lower parking there. I also thought about building a mezzanine, which it's not quite, well, I thought if I built a mezzanine that's like this height, actually maybe a little bit higher, over here, that's say 8 feet wide or maybe 10 feet wide, and then using the lift and putting cars up on the mezzanine. I mean, it might be a crazy idea, but let's face it, when you're parking cars for 6 months of the year, it'd be kind of nice just to get them up and out of the way. But if I did a mezzanine, I'd have to use the lift to get them on, and I wouldn't want to have to turn, so you'd want it to go straight on, in which case then I'd have to put like the lift at this corner, lift it up and roll them on, and you know what, it probably wouldn't work. So probably easier just to get another lift, but get a small lift, you know, not one so big. The one thing I do like about this one is it's a 9,000 pound high lifting one. So when it's right up, I can put the old Expedition and my pickup underneath. And I can also lift those ones up to change oil and do maintenance. So that's what I like about this lift, but it does take up a bit of room. Although it does work good here because you can, you know, walk under it because it does have a wide footprint. But I had thought about putting a little one in there and stacking 2 cars, then parking the pickup camper in the middle bay. And, you know, that would probably work too. Anyways, whatever. Let's fire up red and check this. I was going to say soft top, but I guess it is a soft top, but, well, no, it's not a soft top. What the heck am I talking about? Check the convertible top to make sure it works right. And being that it didn't work right once, I'm betting it won't work right twice. Unlock. Unplug the tender. I don't actually worry about putting a cloth under it. You know, I know a lot of people do, and I used to, but it's PPF and ceramic coated, so I don't know. I think as long as it's not moving and you're not rubbing it, it should be fine. The one thing, well, a couple things. I got to move that out of here. So I'm going to take that to the other garage, but I need to find a place to put my little model cars. So I need some shelves. Actually, a shelf between those would work like a hot diggity. I could put models on it. There you go. We just figured it out. But cold start. And sometimes I forget how loud this car is. But she's loud. The microphone doesn't do it justice. But the fact that my voice is probably hard to hear right now just goes to show she is a loud girl with that Corsa Extreme straight pipe. Woo! Now let's see if I can back her out. There we go. She's quietening and down. Quietening. It's getting quieter. That's all better. But apparently there was some condensation. Just making sure there's no oil drips off the C3. Yeah, she's looking good. That's another reason for putting the C8 up on the lift. And kudos to Benpack for those drip trays. They work like a hot diggity. Because, you know, the old cars, they could drip. This might be a bad idea. But hey, what's life without making the odd bad idea? Gosh, I love this car. And it smells so good. You know, if you're thinking about buying a C8, oh, my heated steering wheel's on too. I love that. If you're thinking about, getting a C8, whew, cell phone digged into me. I highly recommend going with a 3LT. And the biggest reason for going 3LT and paying the extra money, in my opinion, is to get the Alcantara. Alcantara here and on the doorposts and on your things, it just smells so good. I don't know if I had to choose it again, I would do the Alcantara here or on the door, because of course you're always grabbing it. Steering wheel, yes, I really like the Alcantara on the steering wheel because you have more traction, or grippy. It's more grippy. Whereas the straight leather one, I find it is a little bit slippery. So, and I worry about, you know, like I got a little spot there, probably from a Diet Coke or something. But I love it, and I do love the tan interior. Would I do it again? Totally. But this, I would seriously consider changing that out to a black one, just because of the reflection on the windshield. But if you're wearing polarized glasses, that doesn't reflect. And I do love red stitching, so I would probably do that too. So let's give this a go. One thing that's a bit of a pain with the bend pack lifts is you need air to release the dog, so I put a little air tank on it so I can air up the air tank, and then I don't have to worry about having an air hose hooked up to it. The only kicker is I do have a slow leak, so I have to air it up every once in a while, which is totally okay. And then I've got my 220 hooked to a extension cord to my welder plug, and then that way I just plug it in when we're going to use it and then unplug it and hang up the cord. And the beauty of the extension cord, I can put the lift anywhere in the garage and just run the extension cord to the 220. That's how the plug got buggered. Setting the lift on the extension cord for my lights. The other thing I do with my lift is I take the ramps off when I have cars go underneath it, because then that way they're not hanging down. It drives me nuts when you got yellow ones hanging down and it's a hitting hazard. The one thing that I do find about the C3 that I'm not really keen on is I don't fit very well. Because this is a 75, the seat has screw adjustments. It's set up for Andrea because it's really her car. And it's all the way back, which means I don't fit very well at all. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit annoying when you're trying to drive. But we can do it. Ooh. How do you tall guys do it in your C3? Let me know. It ain't easy when you're tall. Okay, 2 pumps. Fire in the hole. Well, let's try the top and see what happens. And then we'll lift up the lift and take a look underneath. Have to have the door closed and the key on. Let's just do this. Yeah, it doesn't bloody fit. Gosh. Like, you would think they would, I should have left it. So this is where it's binding or hitting. So obviously it looks like the whole thing is out of adjustment. And I know when I took it away, I said, you know what? I'll just adjust it myself. But a guy shouldn't have to. Yeah, and look, this is right flush. So it's got to come, well, of course, this is pushed down and it's hitting over there because this side is just about down all the way. Grr. Quality is job one. Yeah, so this is what the guy at the service center did. Do you think that's how you're supposed to fix your C8 Corvette? No, I don't think so either. But they, oh, actually, now if we look at this, the nacelle piece, this is not lined up at all. So if we look at the other side, you know, that's where sometimes I think I should open up my own shop. Yeah, see this side, I guess there's a little bit of a gap there. Sticks out just a smidgen. Now is that down all the way? The problem with the light top is you breathe on it and it gets dirty. So, yeah, that's sticking out too much. Let's see if it's, well, actually I can leave the door closed. Let's see if it's, I put it down and I push down. There. Well, that's all the way down, and if we look at this line, it dips down. There's, you can tell it's, well, they've actually, it's over that way more, which should make it not hit. And this side is tighter. Now right here, there's no problem. That looks all right. That side's over just a little bit. It'd be actually nice to get it to go that way. Yeah, and this side, well, it's close to the same. I definitely have more of a gap there though. Okay, so let's put the top up. Now they took this off. So there's these. And like this is not fitting at all. Does it look like they took that off? They must have. And you can see there's lots of adjustment there. So I am going to loosen those off and adjust this. And hopefully it works all right doing it myself. And part of why like I said, guys, I wanted to do it myself is because, quite frankly, I didn't trust the service shop, which is bad. You know what? I feel bad for saying that. And the worst thing is, this just proves my fear. But you know what? It's the GM dealer in town. So maybe I'll talk to them. They were mucking with the roof because, like I said in the other video, in the GM bulletin, it doesn't say that you, when you disconnect the battery and you have it in service mode, you actually have to let the top come down on its own and then cycle it so that the computer can learn whether it's up or not. But you know, you would think that a GM dealer would know that. But there again, you know what? We're not a big town. So, you know, there's not a lot of C8s in this town. It just disappoints me because, you know what? And it's probably like the case of a flat rate thing, because that's like, that doesn't even line up a little bit. So, you know how with shops, they have set times for doing something. And of course, doing the transmission is one thing, and this is another. But I feel like neither of these is, yeah, they did have these off. Because you know what they did is they took the deck lid off, these were up, and they had these off laying on the car. So, gosh, just absolute terrible, terrible workmanship. You know, nothing, like it didn't even test, like, you know, I hope they watch this video, or I hope someone there watches the video. Because, like, look at it. It's not even, like, not even an effort was made to make sure these fit. It was just slap them on and get it out the door. And that's the part that really ticks me off. Like, if you need to adjust the hatch, tell me you're out of hours, tell me we need to start a new work order so you can get more diagnosis hours, but don't do a half-assed job. Let that be a lesson to everybody. Don't do a half-assed job. Gosh, you know, it's only, you know, what's a new I was gonna say it's not as up to 6. What's a new 3LT Stingray worth? You know, 130 grand Canadian, 135. You know, this one's pretty much loaded right up, and that's how you treat someone's car. Now, granted, I know pickups are like that, but come on, guys, come on, GM technician. Disappointed. And that's why, you know what? I think, anyways, I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to fix it. I'm just going to fix it, make it proper. So I think the first thing to do is we're going to adjust the nacelle covers so they, you know, fit where they're supposed to fit. And the problem is, you know what the problem is, guys? You worry that if they could be so lazy to not even make sure these are adjusted properly, what else did they do like that? So when I do my own DCT oil filter, and there's some people that are like, oh, you shouldn't do it yourself. You should get a, you know, your genuine GM service center to do it. You don't know who's doing it. You know, if it was like, what's his name at Rick Conti, and I feel bad because I can't remember his name right now. Okay, that's a guy, after watching him, I could trust him working on my car. But I don't know that you're not gonna get some young guy that's an apprentice doing it. And in all reality, maybe that's better than a seasoned guy that's just bitchy because he's got to do something as simple as change an oil filter. So let's see how good, easy. Oh, it literally went back into where it's supposed to go. Like it, gosh. So I want just a smidgen. I'm gonna say there's a good reason to PPF your whole car. Anyways, it hit in the inside, but there again, it is all PPF. Look at that. Boop. I've got just a slight gap or a slight touching. So let's give that a go and I'll do the other side. Look at that. I loosened it off and it literally fell back into place. And like when you put it on, like look at how much movement it is there. So does it take a rocket scientist to figure it out? No. It also looks like that's been pinched. Like, talk about slapping it together. How much of a gap does this one have? Should almost let this come down a little bit. Well, I got my shirt untucked so that it covers my belt, and I'd put a blanket over it, but I don't have any blankets here. I know, that's a terrible excuse. Yeah, we've got a decent gap. I'm going to adjust that other side too. Now, the other thing I want to do is adjust the main deck lid just a little bit. There we go. It looks like about the same gap. There. Let's try this again. Or did it go to sleep? It went to sleep. Wake up! Look at that. So let's just check this out. Okay, so you can see I've got a nice gap there. Of course, it did crease the Alcantara where it was jammed. I'm speechless. On one hand, you think I should move it over, but well, I guess yeah, because there's a bit of a we can move it over this way a little bit more. You know, and there's a nice gap there, and I don't think these come right down tight. They just cover that. So that's probably good. I mean, I could probably get it just a smidgen tighter. How's this one? Yeah, so this one's about the same. Got gap there. If we check here, you can see we've got a little bit more. It's a little tighter, although it is tighter at the back too. So we can move it to the driver's side a bit, and that looks good. How about this fitment? Looks like it could go back a bit on that side, and it could go over a bit over here. And you know, we're gonna try this out, because if I can just take, you know, 20 minutes and get it right. So this can come over, and this side a little bit more, and it could go back just a smidge. So let's try adjusting this. Let's just check complete fitment though. The cells go in. There, let's check the front. How's that looking? I've got, what's that, 1/4 of an inch? Seal there, seal there, seal there. You know, I was gonna say, just thinking about this top. Okay, so that looks, rather than measuring it, I'm using my finger to feel. That's a bit more of a gap. That looks good. And this feels like it could definitely go that way just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. So. And I mean, yes, it's just a Corvette, but you know what, guys? It's my Corvette. And if you can make it as close to perfect, why wouldn't you? Okay, let's put the top down. So I think it's probably good where it sits, but now I'm just looking, I feel like there's a bigger gap there than there was before. Maybe there's not, maybe it's just me. Yeah, see, that feels like it's a little bit, it's down. It's a little tighter. And I mean, I'm sure it wasn't perfect before, but of course, I don't remember what it was like before, because a guy doesn't take that kind of extreme. Yeah, see, that looks like it could go down a little more. So. Okay, so it also has these stoppers, which look really simple to adjust. Dun, dun, dun. And like this one, I don't know that that's been adjusted, but it definitely sits up a little bit on this side, and we can see there are bolts right there. Yeah, and they did loosen those. So you know what? I can loosen those and get that down a smidge. And then to get it over, because which way did it need to go over? I should take pictures, because now I'm getting confused. I needed to come this way on the front, but just a little bit, just a little bit. There's the bolts, right? Trying to show you guys. Flip you upside down, right there. Just for reference. Oh. And it appears to be 13 millimeter. Okay, let's try that. Oh, that's like almost perfect. It's just a smidge low from the body line. The trunk is a little bit low, but I like that. I don't think it needs to be any lower. So now I just need to get the top. So when I say top, I mean the front. Come over this way a smidge. Let's go check the other side. This side actually needs to come up a bit. Yeah, it's way low. Way low. There's about 1/8 of an inch gap on this side. Ooh, she's close. That's low. Okay, this side it's, oh, well, not quite 3/8, maybe 3/16. Oops. Right. Let's tighten this one. Actually, I'm gonna leave one loose. This is 3mm. Yeah. I'm just gonna see if I can smooch it over. Now I'm using my 1/4 inch ratchet, so it's not too big. So it doesn't need to be that big. Oops. Yeah, would you look at that? Comes down a lot. Now the other kicker is you can see where the nuts were fastened before. So if you line it up, it should be, exactly where the car left the factory. And that's not to say it was perfect when it left the factory, because I did see a new Z06 in the showroom and it was it wasn't perfect. It was high on this side too. So. Give that a go. Let's just give that a go. I want to raise this side, so I'll use my wrench. Another thing I'm being careful to do is not set tools in here, because I kind of feel like setting them in here, but I'm pretty sure that'd be bad. I had to close the top on top of it, so. Okay, I'm just snugging up one bolt till we test it. Down. So we'll check fitment. It's just a little bit high there. Maybe a smidgy low there. Just about perfect there. Little out, little out, little out. I think this gap looks bigger, or better, not bigger, but better. So if we look, I think that's a decent gap. You know, that's decent. It's just a little bit higher. That's a little bit down, and that is pretty much bang on. That line is better. I mean, I'm not expecting to get the lines perfect because, let's face it, it's not a Rolls Royce. I mean, it's a Rolls Royce to me. I'll check this one. Oh yeah. So this is up. I'd say it's about the same as the other side now. This side, it sticks out just a smidgen, but it's pretty, gosh, maybe pretty, well, it doesn't stick out as much as the other side, but this line, you can see it gets a little bit bigger, but not very much. And it's a little bit down here, but that line looks good. This line looks good. That looks good. So, and I mean, that's why I say like trying to get it perfect, because if I get that line, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks really good there. And this one, gosh, I think it looks good enough. You know, on one hand, you feel like, see, and that's not very much at all. I don't think I'm gonna get it much better than that. You know what, guys? Because if I could get it a little bit more, I think I'm splitting hairs. So, that makes me happy. Happy, 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 happy. I just want to inspect this because I believe they had it off in order to try and figure out how to do the top, because I think they were adjusting those. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the other side and just give it a quick check. I'm gonna be careful not to touch because I got a little bit of dirt on my fingers. I don't wanna, this hand's clean, but still. It's the problem with the natural dip. Like actually, you can kind of see the dark fingerprints there. See that? Can you see that, guys? I don't know if you can see that in the light. That's not from me. That would be from the technician. I don't want to be too hard on him because what if I have transmission issues and he has to work on it again? But, you know, by the same token, it's like, come on, guys. Like just a little bit of tender loving care. But there again, you know, it's probably not the end of the world because one, this is a brutal interior, you know, for getting dirty. And the other thing is, yeah, I could have, you know, if I didn't pick up the car when I did, like if they took it outside, it was, well, you remember what it was like. It was snowy and icy, and I loaded it right from inside the shop. So they could have taken it to their detail bay and detailed it up for me. But I just wanted to get it home. So you know what? We're not going to worry about that. So, and I got my own spots that I need to clean up, like the door handles. So, okay, so let's try putting her up. There. You know what, guys? I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that adjustment. I think I might actually try and adjust my deck lid up just a smidgy. Maybe not today, but I'm happy with that fitment. And you know what? We just did it ourselves. Don't need a dealership to do it. And this side is virtually perfect. Of course, I'm getting fingerprints on it, but and this side, the trunk is a smidge low, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with these lines. You know, everything looks good. I'm happy. And you know what? Honestly, it was kind of fun. So, and that's the kicker when you take a car to a dealership, and that is, I mean, for them, it's a job. It's just, okay, I'm going to get paid 30 hours or 15 hours or something to change his transmission. And if it took him longer than the book time, I don't blame him for being annoyed. But that being said, what I would do if I had a GM dealer, I'd say, okay, we have another issue. Come take a look. We'd like to start another work order for adjusting the top. You know, because like when I picked it up and the guy shoved it over, that is not the right thing to do. I knew it was wrong. In a lot of ways, some guys will probably say, I should have left the car, I shouldn't have picked it up, I should have refused it. Except for the fact that if someone's gonna shove your top over like that, you know they're not gonna take care in adjusting it like you or I would. So yeah, but what they should have done is said, hey, you know what? The top is not fitting right. Did it shut off again? I think so. There we go. I just hit the key on so we can put the top up. The one thing about it is doing the top, you gotta have the door closed. But good thing it works with the window open. So yeah, no one's gonna love your car like you do. Now I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna go back and tighten up all those bolts and make sure that they're snug. Good and snug. Oh, I love these cars, I really do. Top is back up. I'm happy with how it fits. I'm happy with how it looks. I'm happy. And you know what? When I look at that panel on the inside, I don't think they really got it that much dirty. I gotta watch myself because with some dirt on my hands, I could do way worse. So let's pick it up in the air, lift it up in the air, and see what it looks like under its belly. Okay, so we've got the lights on. We got the lights on. Let's take a look. Do we see anything? I mean, they have the whole back end of the car off, so it's looking good so far. Do I know what I'm looking for? Just checking for loose bolts, misaligned things. This one's a little bit grindered off. Grindered off. But I know these were tight before because they go into the aluminum, so that's a bit of a whoopits. That's my oil filter. Just checking. You can see it doesn't line up quite like it used to, but I mean they changed the transmission for goodness sakes. So that looks good. Doesn't look like they had to muck with the alignment. And yeah, that's tight. And of course it's kind of hard to see without with all your covers on. So I'm gonna go get a flashlight so we can, yeah. So we're just peeking in the holes. And you know, let's face it, the technician is a transmission guy and been working on GMs for years. So that would be his specialty. So I don't want to sound like a complete jerk for being a little bit hard on the roof fitment. But, you know, cats are back on for now. Now, I would never take my catalytic converters off. Just kidding, I probably would. Spark plug boots. But doesn't look like the oil filter was changed because, well, I changed oil, so it's not really necessary. That's looking good. If you guys see anything, let me know in the comments. But it's looking good to me. You can see up there where some wires were, because you can see, I'll try and point it out, but there's a little brass spot that there was a clip before that was pushed into it that's not there anymore. But I had, when I changed the filter, was it when I changed the filter? No, it was when I added oil. I had that off, and I had zap straps on them. So, but I'm also going to be adding some more oil, but I'm going to do it when I change the filter again, which I'm going to do like 1,000 kilometers. So it'd be like, I don't know, would that be like 700 miles? Because let's just say I'd like to keep this transmission. So I would rather change the transmission filter more than necessary to avoid needing another transmission. And I don't think I did anything. I think it's just luck of the draw, whether you get a good one or not a good one. And you can see where, like, that was, you know, the tie rod was taken off. I don't, is that, it's probably just turned. How does that work? Is there a boot there? I'm just looking because this is, it's turned. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I mean, it's not turned much, but it's not perfectly square. Do we think that matters? Obviously it was taken off. I don't know if that yellow mark was from the factory. It's a little tighter than it used to be, which kind of makes sense a little bit because they had to droop her down. And that ball joint was taken off. It's probably fine, maybe. It's probably me just being a little extra picky. Let's just take a look in here. There's the axles. Here, maybe the camera will see something that I can't. Check this side. Oh, this side's the same way. It's on an angle, which I don't know. You know, a guy should almost maybe probably get an alignment after this. Just thinking about it, because I mean, I don't know. How does that? Yeah, so that just goes to the It's probably not. I mean, when the car goes up, it's just not centered. But really, to do that, I'd have to turn that screw. And I'm pretty sure they did not do that. So it's probably exactly the same as where it was from the factory because it's undisturbed. It looks clean. Take a look up in here. There's the axle bolts. So, I'm gonna say, so far, I can't see too much. The exhaust. Something with this, it drips water out of there. That one looks like it could be a little bit tighter. I guess it's, the tips look like they're in the same spot. Might have had, I don't know if he had those off or not. Maybe not, because of course he could have taken those bolts off and pulled everything off in one flail swoop. Look at that, shiny new tranny. Yeah, and see, you replaced the plastic clippies there, so that's good on them. That one clips on the other side. You can see where I used the clips, so that's that looks good. Looks good. These little stinker clips. I had to change the starter on my pickup, and yeah, bumper bolts. There. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy, guys. I mean, aside from having to adjust the top, which, let's face it, the transmission technician, he might have not even gotten into that. Maybe he wanted to keep the car and they let it go too soon. I don't know, but he's also been at GM a long time. I know, because he did the transmission in Princess, because I had that, or not the transmission, but the torque converter, because I don't know if you remember C7's having the shutter at speed. I believe it's the exact same guy. He's been there for a long time, and I think he can be a little grumpy. I'm just checking my tire wear. There's not a lot of tread, but you know, these are definitely softer, being the all seasons, all trains, whatever you want to call them. But I like them because if I had the Sport Cups and I wanted to do what I just did and swap it out on ice, it wouldn't have worked out very well. So, yeah, this one feels like it's got a little bit more than this one, but you can see the wear bars right there. So we probably got another whole season on them. But yeah, she looks good. I'm quite pleased. You know what? I guess the true tell will be driving it and seeing how the new transmission does. But in theory, you know, they send you the new transmission in a crate, probably. So it's yeah, it's basically just swapping it out, I believe. But just giving her a little extra look. Okay, so that's the front lift right there. And you know, that's something obviously that if you're thinking about getting a C8, get the front lift. Don't cheap out unless you don't plan on, unless you want a cheap car. But I mean, you could see getting on my lift that I did scrape a little bit. What's that? That looks like that's a bit of a scrape from something. Interesting. But that's a soft rubber, so yeah. Scruffed on both sides. Oh, right there too. But that's all plastic, so, and it's the underside of the car, so who cares? And when I say who cares, well, I do a little bit. So here, there's the little scratch that I put in the plastic. If this was carbon fiber, I'd probably be more choked at myself. But yeah, that's hardly noticeable. Little bit right there. But I mean, I could give it like just a light sand and nobody would ever know. I would know. I'm still irritated with myself because, you know, person can be critical all you want on other people. But I mean, let's face it, we all make mistakes. Kind of like I did pulling onto the lift. And apparently, my LED lights are noisy. And this is, my PPF is bubbled a little bit there. But that's okay. That's why we got it. But so yeah, what do you think, guys? Leave a comment down below. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch and see what my experiences are with my C8 Corvette. And I'm gonna maybe detail her up a little bit, because when I washed it, I didn't wash the wheels very good. So maybe I'll even pull the wheels off to give them a good clean. And that's one thing about up here. It's not, well, I mean, you've seen the weather. We got dirty roads, so you know what? At the end of the day, you got to drive your car. You got to enjoy your car, because one day you'll be dead. I know. So will I. And the enjoyment you get from driving it is hands down worth every mile. And if you're really fussy and you like being fussy, that's great too. I'm fussy too, not as much as I would like sometimes, but don't not drive your car and just leave it for the next guy to have a cherry one. You know what? Drive it, use it like it was meant to be. I don't think these will ever be collector cars like the old ones. So, you know, maybe the expensive ones, like, you know, the ones that are going to be hard to get, like the ZR1. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll stop babbling. Drive your car, enjoy your car, live life to the fullest, because we only got a short time on this planet. And you know what? I am super blessed.